Hi there, this is Aaron. Today is Sunday the 4th of January and it's the first day of 2015 on my new allotment. Well, as you can probably see, there is a mist that's come down. I can't actually see the either end of the allotment because the mist is coming down so thick. I'm here, there are a couple of other people here, but I think most people have decided that it's far more sensible to stay in and watch the football. What we're getting up to gradually is to get the plot clear of weeds, and I've reached actually sort of the final sort of push of clearing the soil. The soil's actually been really good to dig. You may remember on my previous plot, if it had been like this, I'd have done better with a straw than with a fork or a spade. But here the soil is really well kept. It's a real privilege to become custodian of this. So yeah, I'm really pleased about that. There's been a few things that have been happening. For instance, just before Christmas, it was the day before Christmas Eve, I got a phone call from my neighbour on my old allotment saying, "Aaron, you better come down and take a look at something." So I did, and this is what was waiting for me. I'm back on the old plot because I've had a phone call from my allotment neighbour, Barry, who very kindly got in touch and said that there's been a bit of an accident with the greenhouse. And he's not wrong. Yeah. If you remember, this was held into the ground. You can see the broom handles, and the wind has absolutely just ripped it out. Everything that was inside is now just sort of a mess. But I'm hoping that the frame I can salvage, because I do have plans for the frame. I knew that the cover was going to be useless, but the frame I'm still hopeful that I can find a use for. So we're going to dismantle it and clear it up. But that was quite a wind, wasn't it? It's even blown the bloody filing cabinet over. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. Well, I mean, you've got to laugh at these things, haven't you? Because if not, you'll cry. What happened is that the plastic of the Apollo greenhouse, the wind was pushing it, and gradually the force of the wind started to wear a hole, which turned into a rip. Which meant then that the plastic pulled up like a kite and absolutely uprooted itself from the ground. Some of the connectors snapped in trying to keep it together, so there is a bit of a salvage job to do there. I'm not sure if it is salvageable as a greenhouse. I've got to look to see if I can find the connectors from somewhere, but then I do have ideas as to how to strengthen it. Ultimately, I think sort of Apollo, if you are watching, you put 2 ties on each of the 4 corners of the greenhouse. What it needs is a tie on every section at every point where it's in contact with the frame. So you've got the ribs in the middle as well, and it needs ties there, because then it could distribute the weight and it wouldn't have fallen apart the way that it did. So if you ever do watch this, that's how you can improve it. And I think I don't believe it would cost huge manufacture costs, overheads. It's just a bit of thoughtful design. One of the other things that we've been getting up to at this time of year was to get some seed sowing done. And I know that traditionally it's Boxing Day. We were, of course, away. So when we came back, this is what I got up to. It's New Year's Eve today, and I know that there's a lot of people that say, "Oh, sow your onions on either Boxing Day or New Year's Day." Well, we missed Boxing Day because we were away. And the chances of me not having a hangover tomorrow are very, very, very remote.
So what I'm going to do is here on New Year's Eve, I'm going to sow my onions and other early crops. Now, what we have here, and I mean you can see it, we have the Kelsae. And anybody that watches Dan's channel will know exactly what I'm intending to do with those and what my hopes are for them. So we're going to sow the Kelsaes. Now I've also got my Yellow Rynsburger long-keeping onions from last year. And once I've used up all of the Kelsae seeds, I'll be putting in the Yellow Rynsburger. Now what I've also got are my Musselburgh leeks. And they took a long time to grow, so I'm going to get those in earlier. And I've also been sent a trial pack from DT Brown, which is the Nimbus F1 Tomato, and it says here, sow it in January. So we're going to have a crack at that one as well. What I've also got is one of my Christmas presents, which is a nice propagator with a lid, so that's what we're going to use. We're here on the kitchen table, we're about to get the soil out. What could possibly go wrong? We have a local farm shop and they were really good because they decided to deliver the compost that I'm going to be using for my seeds this year, which is John Innes No. 1 Grow Wise Specialist. I was a bit worried because I saw on a website that John Innes No. 1, and then I got home and then I saw somewhere else that I should be using John Innes seed compost, and I wasn't too clear on what the difference was, but I then had a look on the John Innes website, and they say that you can use either John Innes No. 1 or John Innes seed growing compost. So that's what I've got, and that's what the Kelsaes and the Yellow Rynsburger and the Musselburgh leeks are all going into. So off we go. So now what I have are the onion seeds and a little pencil, which I'm just going to use the end to just dib a little hole. Drop a seed into each cell. There's 72 cells. I think there's 40 seeds, so I'll make the rest up with the Yellow Rynsburger, and then we'll see how we get on. Well, it turns out that there were a lot more than seeds in there than I thought there were, and so I've filled all 76 cells with at least one seed. Now there are a couple where sort of it got a bit fiddly and 2 seeds may have dropped in, but that's fine. I know from last year that if both of them do germinate, I can separate them. It'll be a bit more fiddly because, you know, this way, as they germinate, I'll just have the plugs that I can push through and put in a plant pot, so that'll make it a lot easier. But I mean, if there are some I have to split, that's absolutely fine. Similarly, if there are any that don't germinate, I can go along them again and put another seed in and see if that works. So that's my Kelsae onions. I've got to get another propagator in order to do the Yellow Rynsburger onions. Which I will do, but for now, we're on our way. Well, the Kelsaes are in. I know that they're good show onions and they're very large, but I have no idea what they taste like. So I want to make sure that I've got plenty of eating onions as well. And I have some of the Yellow Rynsburger that were left from last year. And that's what I'm going to plant now. Now, I'm planting these in cut down half toilet rolls, and last year I put 4 onions in each of these, and that seemed to work out quite well. So I'm going to do the same thing again, and we'll see what we get this year.
So that now is 112 onions planted. How many of those end up on the plate? We'll have to see later in the year. But I don't care what anybody says. I wouldn't want to do that with a hangover on New Year's Day. Well, it's the 3rd of January today. As you saw, I've planted my onions. And now I'm going to plant my leeks, which I have here. So last year I planted my leeks in February. And they weren't really ready in time for show. And what I'm hoping to do this year is to show some of them. So it was kind of mid to late February, so I'm hoping that these extra 6 weeks will be enough so that I can get some leeks. So we're going to plant them now. And that's it now with its little hat on. So it'll stay like this until they start to sprout, and then I'll take the hat off as long as sort of they're kept inside. When I've got the new greenhouse ready, I will transfer them out there. I may initially keep the little hat on. It very much depends on the temperature that the greenhouse is getting. Then we'll prick them out, and then we'll plant them out, and hopefully we'll have some leeks. When I ordered my onions, my Kelsae onions, and also my courgettes from DT Brown for the year, they sent me this, which is a tomato variety called Nimbus F1. It's a free trial pack, so thank you very much to DT Brown. I really appreciate that. And these tomatoes, they say, can be grown indoors from January and even December, and grown outdoors from March. Now, that sounds a little bit far-fetched to me, to grow outdoors from March, given the kind of Marches that we have. But I thought I would give it a go indoors and see how they do on the inside the greenhouse. Now what I've got here is I've taken half an egg box, because I don't actually know how many seeds are in here, and I suspect there are not that many. DT Brown are brilliant, but I don't think they're going to send me sort of 200 tomato plants. So I think there's probably going to be 6. So let's see how many we have got. There's actually 5, and I've just dropped one. So oh, there it is, I think. So we'll put these in, and we'll see how these do as well. So that is my tomato seeds in. We're going to cover those up in the same way as we did with the others. I'm really interested to see how this F1 variety does. Those that remember a couple of seasons ago, my first attempt at tomatoes was thwarted through blight and stupidity. So I know a little bit more now, so it'll be interesting to see how we get on with these. Maybe we'll get tomatoes this year. We'll see. Well, as you might have heard at the end there, the cat really isn't that optimistic about my tomatoes. But I am, and I'm really looking forward to see what happens. We've got the rest of the early seeds underway, so we'll see what happens with the onions, the leeks. Those tomatoes, of course, do need to go into a greenhouse, and so I'd better get on and build one within the next few months, and that is the plan. But for now, it's back to the digging. So as we look down the plot, you can see that there's some more that's been dug. So we're getting there. I'll have this done in the next few weeks. It is so peaceful here. There's nobody here now. And actually, even as I'm talking, the mist is coming down more. You can see that I can't see between those trees now. This is possibly the most peaceful thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's amazing. And with that, you can see that I've done some work, but the mist is coming in and it's actually getting too misty to see. This is going to be a fog pretty soon, so I'm going to leave it there. It only remains for me to wish absolutely every single one of you a very happy 2015. I hope it brings you everything that you could want. If you're interested to see how we get on, I will see you next time on The Allotment. Goodbye.